Chapter 51. The Fall Beneath Flame. Location: the sanctuary, nightfall. The skies had darkened long before the sun dipped behind the cliffs. Dragons circled high above the sanctuary, their silhouettes black against the ash-colored clouds. Decima stood at the edge of the high balcony, wind tugging at her cloak, dragon mark glowing steadily beneath the fabric. The air felt charged, like the world was holding its breath. They'd returned in silence, no cheers. No fires lit, no welcoming words, only the low hum of the ley lines underfoot, shivering with instability. Sarenfay landed with a deep thud beside her, folding her wings close, her eyes scanning the skies. Tunwil hovered a moment longer, his tail coiling like smoke before settling near Daniel with a warning growl. The others descended in cautious waves, uneasy and alert. Something wasn't right. "They're scattered," Sarenfay murmured, voice low and vibrating through Decima's bones. "Too many roots. Too much distance. The shimmer is breaking apart." Daniel joined them, his boots crunching softly over stone. "It felt fine when we left," he said, frowning at the sky. "Now it's like something pushed through it." Decima nodded, her senses straining. The threads of magic that usually connected the sanctuary to the land were flickering like weak candlelight. The ley lines beneath the stone trembled. Off rhythm, erratic. She stepped to the edge of the ward line. The shimmer that normally danced like silver mist was thinning. Holes opened and closed in its weave, unsteady, as if something had torn through it in rage. "They know where we are," Decima whispered. "Or worse. They've always known." Below, the dragons stirred uneasily. A few hissed toward the forest's edge. Others kept glancing upward, eyes locked on the sky. Even the younger ones, usually restless and loud, stood still. Their instincts felt it first. Something was coming. Sarenfay growled low in her throat. "We should not have returned here." A sudden ripple passed through the ground. Not violent, but deep, like something shifting far beneath them. The sanctuary stones themselves echoed it. Daniel's hand brushed against his blade. "Was that an earthquake?" "No," Decima said. Her voice was tight. "That was something waking up." A sharp screech cut through the wind, distant, metallic. Not a dragon. All three turned toward the sound. From the east side of the cliffs, a shimmer of light cracked downward in a jagged line, splitting open like a wound. Firelight spilled from within, but it wasn't warm. It was cold, thin and blue, flickering like dying breath. Sarenfay stepped forward, scales bristling. "That's not natural flame." "No," Decima said. "It's conjured, forced." Daniel looked between them. "Kono?" Decima's pulse quickened. Or something worse. The rift opened wider. A roar followed, low, hollow, nothing like the dragon's. It was wrong. Crafted. Bound by sorcery older than the shimmer itself. And through the blue-lit gash, something stepped out. Not human, not dragon. A creature twisted between both. Its wings were skeletal. Its body stitched together from bone and shadow. Runes etched across its ribcage in ancient red. Chains dragged behind it, glowing with symbols from the severance. It moved with purpose. "Get them in the sky," Decima said. Sarenfay didn't question it. "Now." The first crack split the night like thunder. It didn't come from above, but below. A deep tearing sound rolled through the sanctuary grounds, shaking dust from the rafters and stirring every sleeping dragon. The protective wards that shimmered over the outer perimeter pulsed red, then flickered. Gone. Snuffed out like candles. Daniel bolted upright, bare feet hitting stone. "Decima!" But she was already moving, robe half draped. Her dragon mark glowing so brightly it lit the corridor. Her eyes met his, and for a heartbeat neither spoke. They didn't need to. The earth groaned again, louder this time. Beneath it something moved. Not footsteps, not beasts. Something older. They ran. Down the hallways of the sanctuary, past the rooms lined with dragon relics and spells carved into bone, past Mela, already shouting warnings to the outer watch, and then outside. The main courtyard. It had split open. Where once there had been stone, there was now a wide gash in the earth, glowing with firelight that pulsed like a heartbeat. Smoke billowed out, thick and ash-laced. And rising from it, a figure, cloaked in deep red. Runes burned across their arms and neck like molten brands. Their eyes glowed gold. And behind them, something stirred. Massive, scaled, wings curled inward like smoke. A dragon, but wrong. Twisted, burned. Its body shimmered between forms, part bone, part fire. Its roar sounded like a furnace exploding, ripping through the air with unnatural force. Daniel stepped in front of Decima. "Is that?" "No," she said quietly. "That's not one of ours." The twisted dragon snarled and surged forward, claws hitting the earth with bone-cracking weight. The sanctuary exploded into motion. Dragons took flight. Guardians unleashed spells from the walls, but the fire creature's breath shattered barriers, melting sigils in the air. Daniel shifted. Not into full dragon form, not yet, but enough that the edges of him burned. Scaled over, his sword ignited. He charged forward, meeting the beast mid-leap. Flame clashed with flame. Decima turned, casting spells into the breach. Roots rose from the earth, trying to seal the crack. Her voice split the air in Welsh. "Clwyr Gwed, Tail Eir Wemo." Seal the blood. Let it be bound. But something pushed back. Magic older than hers, corrupted. Behind her, Maella appeared, panting, face pale. "The others are falling back." "We've never seen one like this." "It's not from this side," Decima said. Maella's eyes darted to the breach. "From the mirror side?" "No," Decima said grimly. "Beneath it." Daniel roared as he was knocked back, crashing into one of the old pillars. Recovered, rolling, striking again. Fire against fire, but his wasn't holding. Decima's heart surged with fear. Then, a cry. Not from Daniel. From above, Seren Fae, the dragoness, dove from the air, claws outstretched, striking the twisted beast full force. Her body slammed it to the ground. But as she rose, it bit her. Fire flared. Blood hit the ground like sparks. Decima screamed, "Seren Fae!" Seren Fae's scream was like no sound Decima had ever heard. It tore through the night, sharp, shattering, full of rage and agony. The moment the twisted dragon's fangs pierced her side, a surge of golden fire burst from her chest, lighting the sky like a second moon. But it wasn't enough. The creature latched on. Claws struck out. Wings thrashed. Seren Fae plummeted. She hit the ground with a force that cracked the stones beneath her. Dust and flame burst upward. And then stillness. No, Decima was already moving. She ran straight through the chaos, ignoring the heat, ignoring Maella's voice calling her back. Her boots skidded on broken stone. The air reeked of sulfur. Sparks danced through the wind like burning snow. Daniel lunged to intercept the twisted dragon again. Its form pulsed, flickering between molten bone and smoldering shadow. But he didn't care. He struck it hard across the chest, sending it stumbling back toward the rift it had come from. "Decima, watch her!" he yelled. But Decima had already fallen to her knees beside Seren Fae. The dragon's scales, normally radiant, had dulled to slate. Her breathing was shallow, her wings twitching with pain. Blood glistened where the creature's fire infused. Bite had torn through her side. "Stay with me," Decima whispered, placing both palms against Seren Fae's chest. "You're not leaving me." A pulse of magic surged through her skin. Her dragon mark blazed. She tried to pour healing into Seren Fae, whispering the words Bronwyn once taught her. "Troigizgodathan Dwaigaloninan." Through shadow and fire, two hearts as one. Seren Fae stirred, barely. Behind them, the battle worsened. The twisted dragon fought like it felt no pain, no exhaustion. The other dragons struggled to keep it grounded. Every spell cast only seemed to slow it, not harm it. Daniel was bleeding. Maella had joined the front lines, calling on protective runes, but even they faltered. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't born in their world. It had been summoned. Not by accident. A tremor rolled through the ground. Decima's head snapped up. The rift, it was widening. Black tendrils of smoke, laced with glowing runes, spilled from its core. And deeper inside, shapes moved. More than one. More were coming. Daniel's voice ripped through the smoke. "We need to close it, now." "I need time," Decima called, hands still pressed to Seren Fae. "I can't lose her." "You'll lose all of us if you don't." She closed her eyes. Her heart cracked. But she knew he was right. She leaned close to Seren Fae's ear and whispered, "Rest, I'll come back for you." "I swear it." Then she stood, face streaked with ash, hands glowing with raw magic. The bond between her and Seren Fae still burned, but faintly now. Like a thread in the wind, Decima turned to the breach. It had become a storm, and at its center the creature smiled. The mountain groaned beneath them. Smoke curled in twisting ribbons from the fractured stone, bleeding heat and magic into the air. Decima's arms burned from holding Seren Fae steady, her muscles trembling as they dragged across the scorched plateau. Daniel stayed ahead, sword drawn, flames along the edges of his coat from his last wild spell. The storm still surged behind them, lightning dancing across the shattered sky, thunder that cracked like bone. Sarenfay whimpered. Her form flickered between flesh and scale. Too unstable to stay dragon, too hurt to return to human. She needs grounding, Decima gasped. She's caught between. Daniel dropped beside them, eyes wide with panic. If she splits, she won't. Decima pressed her palms to Sarenfay's chest. She's not done yet. The heartstone inside the dragon pulsed faintly. They were too close to the fire's center now. The earth below rumbled again, the cracked ring glowing. All around them, the mountain bled molten runes, alive and ancient. The spell that had bound this place wasn't broken. It was awakening. I think this was never meant to be opened, Daniel said, his voice tight. This isn't a seal. It's a mouth. The wind howled, and something screamed up from below. Not human, not dragon. Something older, hungrier. Decima's mark flared, bright white-hot on her chest, and she saw it, the memory or vision, or truth, rushing through her like floodwater. The mountain wasn't just cursed. It was built atop a creature, or a prison. Fire bound in stone, a heart too powerful to be killed, one that had burned before dragons ever flew. Her breath vanished. This isn't about us. What? Daniel yelled. This mountain, this is the original fire. The first flame. Sarenfay screamed again, her wings flaring open in agony. A shockwave of blue light burst outward from her chest, knocking Daniel back and hurling Decima onto her side. The light hit the runes, and the mountain answered. Everything beneath them cracked open. The stone beneath their feet split like glass. A roar rose from the chasm. Older than language. Older than dragons. A sound that did not echo but possessed. The world turned red. Heat blasted through the mountain, as if every buried flame in its belly had been unshackled at once. Decima! Daniel's voice cracked, too far, too loud, too desperate. She reached for Sarenfay, but the dragon's body shimmered, fading in and out of solidity. Her eyes locked with Decima's for the briefest second. Gold, pain-filled, pleading. Then, the ground collapsed. Decima fell. She didn't scream. There wasn't time. Only wind and ash, and white-hot light surging around her as she plummeted through the stone throat of the mountain. Her mark blazed. Her lungs burned. And then nothing. Silence. Darkness. Daniel stood at the edge, chest heaving. Runes flickered beneath his boots, cracking and flaring. He dropped to his knees, fingers digging into the crumbling earth. Decima! No answer. Smoke poured from the opening. The runes dimmed. The mountain stilled. Sarenfay was gone. Decima was gone. And the sky was changing. Above him the storm clouds peeled apart, not clearing, but reforming into something worse. Spirals of black and red swirled above the peak, like a crown of fire being forged midair. A scream echoed, not from below, but from the heavens. Something had awakened. Far below, in the red-lit hollow where the mountain's heart once rested, then her hand twitched. A glow began to pulse faintly beneath her skin. Not white like before, not gold. Blue. The same blue as the feather. The same blue as the gate. A shape moved behind her. Too large for the space. Wings folded in shadow. Eyes like burning rivers. And it whispered. Not in words, but in fire. The bond had broken. But the heart had chosen.